Love Island USA's Cierra Ortega says fans called ICE on her family. In her first public statement since being removed from Love Island USA, Cierra Ortega says that fans have called ICE on her family after a past racist social media post resurfaced. Cierra Ortega is standing up for her family. After the Love Island USA contestant was removed from the series over a resurfaced social media post, in which she used a racial slur for Asian people, she has spoken out publicly to address her departure, noting that fans' reactions have extended to her loved ones. "What's been extremely difficult is the way people are approaching my family," Cierra said in a July 9th Instagram video. "They have had IC called on them. My family doesn't feel safe in their own home. I'm receiving death threats. There's no need to fight hate with hate. I don't think that that's justice." And while she acknowledged the pain her family has suffered, the Arizona native noted she wanted to take accountability for the post that emerged and agreed with the network's decision to cut her time on the show short. "This is something that deserved punishment, and the punishment has absolutely been received, for sure," she said. "I think the backlash has obviously been very hard to deal with, but I understand that people are kind of confused on why I would have even said it." Cierra, who was coupled with fellow Islander Nick Van Steenberga, was removed from the villa during the show's July 6th episode. Shortly thereafter, Cierra's parents spoke out publicly and addressed fans' responses amid the controversy. "We're not here to justify or ignore what surfaced," they wrote in a message shared to Cierra's Instagram story July 6th. "We understand why people are upset, and we know accountability matters. But what's happening online right now has gone far beyond that. The threats, the cruel messages, the attacks on her family, her friends, even her supporters, it's heartbreaking," the statement continued. "It's uncalled for. And no one deserves that kind of hate, no matter what mistake they've made." Fellow Season 7 Islander Belle Walker also spoke out condemning Cierra's social media posts, but made it clear that she doesn't support the hate from fans towards the disgraced contestant. "I do not condone bigotry or racism of any kind," she wrote. "But I also don't condone hate either. Please think twice before leaving unkind comments to or about this person. Keep reading for everything to know about the show." And Peacock are both part of the NBC Universal family. How Love Island comes together so quickly. Provided by 85 hidden cameras, there's a surplus of footage to be whittled into an hour-long episode at the end of every day. But that's how they roll, with editors taking Monday's footage that night and rapidly turning it into Tuesday's episode, and so on. Luckily, Fiji, where the USA show's first season was set and where it's been since Season 5, is 16 hours ahead of East Coast time, meaning a late-night finish means it's still the previous day's morning in the US, giving the team precious extra hours to get the new episode just right. The Islanders wake up, the control room will be commissioning scenes based on what's happening, executive producer Claudine Parrish told The Wrap in 2024. "They'll label them like, 'Boys make breakfast for the girls,' and 15 minutes after it's happened, it's in our edits and editor is on it and making it into a scene. And it takes a village." Parrish said there are about 30 editors and 20 producers, and a story team figures out which moments and conversations should be woven together into a larger narrative. Though sometimes, Parrish admitted, what seems interesting doesn't always go anywhere. "We don't always get it right," she said. "We're always making that call on, is this important or is this going to change by tomorrow?" What do Islanders eat on Love Island? Breakfast is obviously the most important meal of the day on this show. And with the guys in charge of preparing food and coffee for the ladies on Love Island USA, it's become a topic of international fascination. But what does everyone eat for lunch and dinner, you ask? Well, on a show where the actual food isn't the point, unless it's undercooked pancakes or your first ever omelet, it's not a focus, but it's readily available. There are no menus, Love Island UK's Season 4 winner Danny Dyer told Hello. In 2021, it is catering, so obviously breakfast you cook yourself, so you have like eggs, bacon, toast, and that kind of stuff. Season 8's Luca Bish had no idea who did the cooking, saying in a July 2023 TikTok it was some mystery chef out in the field somewhere, and the food was delivered to the villa. Bish wasn't really a fan of the food, so he shared, Most of the time I would say I was having for lunch and dinner hummus and crisps. Men and women don't eat together on Love Island. As multiple contestants have revealed over the years, the men and women eat separately, except on dates. We eat with the producers, but it runs like a boarding school. Love Island UK Season 3 alum Olivia Atwood told The Sun in 2022. When we have dinner, it's like them telling us we need to clean the bedroom, that laundry day is tomorrow, and asking us what we want for our breakfast the next day. All just things that make the house run smoothly. And much like being on a jury, they're not allowed to discuss the case among themselves. It was mad, Season 8 contestant Samuel Agbiji told Closer in 2024, because when you're eating you want to talk about what's going on, but you can't because it affects the filming. Is there a drink limit on Love Island? You might assume that drinking to flirty excess might be, if not encouraged, then not frowned upon, but contestants are limited to 1 drink per night, and only beer, wine, or bubbly. Given the choice of a glass of red or white wine at dinner, Phoebe Siegel of Love Island USA's 4th season said in a June 2024 TikTok, it was not a generous pour. When there is what appears to be an open bar, such as during a Casa Amor Challenge win celebration, Siegel said, the drinks were completely watered down. Who is that witty Scottish announcer on Love Island? Ian Sterling pulls a double shift as the narrator of both Love Island UK and Love Island USA, and during filming, he's also on a tight schedule. At 12 in the afternoon UK time, I'd log on to Love Island UK, the Scottish comedian detailed to Today in 2024. By that point, the show's all but finished. Then we'd write for 2 or 3 hours. Done by about 4:30. Then I get a child dinner, bath time, bedtime. I'd love for it to be more rock and roll than that, but that was my life. Then I'd have some food, and then I would log on to Love Island USA at 8:30, which is really early Fiji time. Sterling watches a rough cut from home over Zoom, exec producer Parrish explained to The Wrap, and he and the writers are just observing funny things in the scene, or reminders of what's happened in the story, that gets recorded at home on his microphone. His narration is added to the episode before the episode is sent to Peacock's Legals and Standards team, which does sometimes have notes that require last-minute changes. We try to finish by about 12 or 1 in the morning, then I'd stay up till 2:30, which is still not the end of the show for the US, Sterling told Today. In a dream world, I'd be staying up till like 5, 6 in the morning, but that would basically involve me